Hello everyone, this is Twin Flame. How are you today? Is your spirit soul okay? Today, I'm going to introduce a somehow shocking story regarding the destiny of a planet. Let me get started with Captain Udeka's message titled, The Reason That a Planet is Reset. Every planet is a conscious creature that has its own unique evolutionary journey. The evolution of a planet is supervised by the 13th dimension of the universe. The evolutionary cycles of the planets, such as minor cycle, intermediate cycle, and major cycle, are determined by the 13th dimensional administrators, and then the planet can initiate its evolutionary journey following these cycles. During the evolution of a planet, whenever a new minor cycle begins, the population of the planetary inhabitants is forced to be diminished through deluges and other natural catastrophes, which is a natural process to purify a planet before entering into a new cycle. At the level of consciousness of mankind, it may be natural to regard such natural changes occurring in every minor cycle as a judgment of the heaven or a judgment of God. At an inflection point, when a new cycle of a planet's history begins, there are dramatic declines of the populations of the planet's creatures, which occur inevitably through great floods, massive volcanic eruptions, and large-scale earthquakes. These natural upheavals and unidentified epidemics are general changes of a planet occurring at the end of a minor cycle. The planet Earth has also gone through numerous minor cycles. In addition, a planet's reset, which occurs regularly, is generally accompanied by changes of the planet's physical structure, such as massive cluster movements, changes in its rotational axis, and sinking or uplifting of its continents. The sinking of the Lemurian and Atlantic continents a long time ago, which used to have highly advanced ancient civilizations of the planet Earth, is in fact what happened in the context of such a planetary reset. The planetary reset, which requires enormous energy that we cannot imagine, is prepared and carried out by large spaceships. Through the reset process, a planet is initialized to its original state at the time of its first birth after its creation. There are three major cases where a planet is meant to be reset. In the first case, every planet is scheduled to be reset periodically during its evolution. A planet should enter into another level of its evolution as a theater stage for the experience of the spirit soul, for which each old stage needs to be dissociated and remodeled into a new one. In this case, each reset is not to be done on a large scale. It is not such a case in which everything on a planet is to be broken down for the remodeling of the planets. Only a small portion of the planet that needs to be fixed or upgraded is to be reset. For example, there was a planet that blossomed a highly developed scientific and technological civilization. This planet happened to face massive radioactive contamination or some other irreversible disasters which could have a fatal effect on its planetary natural environment. Unfortunately, around that time, the planet had lost its ability to purify itself. In this case, the planet should be reset inevitably. The second case is related to the galactic night, which is the time of the festival for planets. When planets enter the Photon-Belt after passing through a long galactic night, many planetary contradictions may occur on these planets. While passing through the Photon-Belt, many planets may go out of their evolutionary path or the directions of their planetary evolutions. Evolutions of some planets may be suspended, or the spiritual hierarchies of other planets may be closed down. In the worst-case scenario, planets themselves may be destroyed by their own contradictions. The existence of the Photon-Belt is an important factor in determining the evolutionary cycles of a planet. As planets pass through the Photon-Belt, they may enter into the new evolutionary path by going through the reset process. In this case, those planets become subject to a large-scale reset process through which they will be newly born with totally different planetary appearances and characteristics. Planets may pass through the Photon-Belt safely, but they cannot escape from small resets. It is because the Photon-Belt itself acts as an important factor in determining the cycles of a planet in the endless planetary history. The period of time when a planet is exposed to the Photon-Belt varies depending on planets, star systems, and galaxies. While passing through the Photon-Belt, planets are supposed to be remodeled in whatever way by which they can be done, and then to be prepared for a new galactic night. In the third case, a planet has its own roadmap for the planetary evolution, which is planned and prepared in the 13th dimension. But the practical tasks associated with its evolutionary roadmap are carried out in the spiritual hierarchy of the planet. There are energy beings responsible for the evolution of a planet, called the administrators of the spiritual hierarchy of the planet. The Earth spiritual hierarchy is also known as the Great White Brotherhood to the groups of the New Age movement or some other spiritual groups in the West. The administrators of the spiritual hierarchy of a planet serve to manage and supervise the planet through the spiritual hierarchy. Occasionally, they are incarnated into the material world of the planet in order to operate the planet effectively in line with its evolutionary journey, which has been set in their spiritual hierarchy. In other words, they are responsible for making decisions or dealing with important issues of their planet by being incarnated as key role players, whose spiritual energies are at least 5 to 30 times bigger than those of the general spirit souls on the planet. Whenever an inflection point of a planet's history occurs, which is critical for the planet's civilization, the administrators of the planet's spiritual hierarchy should play a pivotal role in determining the fate of the planet by directly intervening the related issues through the incarnation process. Therefore, as determinants of the planet's destiny, they are given special thought adjusters by the Creator. This type of thought adjuster harbors the information and programs required for managing and supervising planets, through which the planetary administrators can operate their planets. While the administrators of the spiritual hierarchy of a planet manage and supervise their planets, unexpected variables may arise to cause the planet to go out of its evolutionary path, or the planet's evolution may be suspended, or all the planetary inhabitants may get extinct. If a planet is fully destroyed and then the transmigration or reincarnation system for the planet's spiritual souls does not work properly, the spiritual hierarchy of the planet will be closed down. When a planet becomes a place where no living creatures can live at all, its spiritual hierarchy is to be shut down by the heaven, and the planet is reset to its initial state after the completion of its purification process, which generally takes millions of years. This is the most intense and drastic reset, requiring the largest amount of energy from the heaven. During the purification period of a planet, the evolutionary roadmap after the planetary reset is planned and designed, and new administrators, including the new chief executive administrator of the planet's spiritual hierarchy, are selected through the rigorous screening and strict administrative procedures executed by the heaven. These chosen planetary administrators run and manage the planet's spiritual hierarchy, and during their planetary management, they start creating their own cosmic karmas by causing all the planetary inhabitants to be killed, ruining the planet, or making the planet's spiritual hierarchy close down. Many of them are among the spirit souls that have come to the planet Earth, carrying their cosmic karmas, and have still been living on Earth. They are called the light workers who have come from the alien planets. They live on Earth with more difficult life programs than the general light workers do. Their planets on which they can dissolve their cosmic karmas have been destroyed, and there is no planet in the universe that can accept these spirit souls with cosmic karmas on their backs. The only planet where they can dissolve their karmas is the planet Earth. Most of the light workers from the alien planets are the spirit souls that failed in operating their home planets. They will be able to return to their home planets only after completely dissolving their cosmic karmas on the planet Earth. For that purpose, they are participating in the project of the Earth Dimensional Ascension. Only when they are recognized for their contributions to the Earth Dimensional Ascension, they will be qualified to go back to their home planets, so that they will be able to reopen the spiritual hierarchies of their home planet and to reveal their planets. I wish all the best to the light workers from the alien planets. Udeka wrote. His message was translated by Twin Flame. Thank you so much for listening. I'll be back later. Bye.